Welcome back to Down the Track. It's a beautiful day in the IPL. The Sunrisers have notched up their third victory in a row. And I have with me my co host, my friend, my brother, Aziz, who has been calling this since the auction. He was the only guy who had firm faith in this team. And I don't know if it was just being too loyal to the team or I felt there was a bit of acting there as well. But whatever he did say now is because I don't think he believed in this team as much as he should. But it's coming true now. 3 wins in a row. It's not a joke. Whether they make the playoffs or not, we don't know. But this is a very good performance. Don, your initial thoughts on this game, man?
I mean, I was over the moon, man. This was a proper victory for us. I think this is the kind of victory you want, like for this young side to get like an extreme amount of confidence going into their next
Absolutely.
games, because it was a difficult. We have been struggling to chase bigger scores. We were about 150, 160 was the max that we were getting, but now 176 is like 20 runs more. So it was that, and to chase it in the way they did with Tripathi and Markram, to have 2+ overs to left for it to go out to it gives you the indication that we had a team that can even score 200 if needed, if the pitch supports us.
That's a good one.
We were lucky. I have to admit, I think that it was harder to bat in the first innings. The pitch got a lot better. The dew helped. I think a big decision on Kane to give Suchet the last over who could have really bankrolled us in a very bad way. And there are small things, and we still have to bat first. These are the 2-3 things that I'm a little bit concerned about. But with that being said, I think 3 wins on the trot after 2 losses is just beautiful to see. And the second game also was a game that we should have won, and we lost it. So there was only one game that we got officially like totally outplayed, completely looked subpar.
Which was the
But
first
every which was the first game against Rajasthan Royals, who are looking a good side too. But apart from that, every other game, even the second game that we lost to LSG, we should have
game.
won that game. We lost that, and then we've improved significantly. We've improved one step at a time, and it's good to see that we put in a very professional performance today. The bowlers, the batsmen, I think getting the wickets and missing Washi. You have to remember Washi is a very important player for us.
Big,
So
big.
missing Washi and still doing this kind of a performance is fantastic, and I think this confidence will grow high. Like you said, it's still not. There's still early days. There's a lot of cricket still left to be played. Might not make the playoffs after this, but I've seen enough to be happy for the season.
Yeah, me too. Like I honestly thought, they're gonna come ninth, 10th. That's what and to be fair, a lot of people were saying that, and I just, even though I also didn't have too much to argue with, I just wanted to prove those people wrong. It's not like it's everybody. Like it was, analysts, commentators. Not even today, Harsha Bugle in commentary, at halftime, he's like, it's gonna be a tough chase. And then even on a 60 for 40, he's like, oh, things are, it's a commentator's job. I don't think he's like being anything like that. But you could see that Sunrisers have that hint of a collapse in them, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the best. But you have to understand, this is a different team now. It's a younger team. Yes, they can still collapse. They can make mistakes. They've dropped catches, but I think it just goes to show, man, the dead weight you're carrying in Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar. Those two players going, I'm not like trying to blame anybody, but Tripathi, Markram coming in, it makes a big difference. And they still need to step up though. So I
Yeah.
think we're also lucky that these players have been in good
I
form.
think Tripathi's form has been very important for us. I think Abhishek Sharma in the initial 2 games and Tripathi showed some flashes in the first couple of games, but I think the very important. The only thing I think he needs to finish games off. I think he struggles to finish
Be
games off.
disappointed,
He
yeah.
also he also mentioned about his health, because we have a game day after tomorrow, so it's very important that he keeps his health to a prime level, because we need him to perform every game similarly, the way he is performing right now. And to see Markram take that important responsibility, especially with Kane kind of struggling with his form, to
Yeah.
see Markram finish that off. And the important thing will be when we lose 4 or 5 wickets. We have Shashank Singh has been playing for 3 games, hasn't gotten a chance to get out to the field.
Yeah.
It's always good that the top order is finishing games off, but it'll be important to see how he kind of performs and who can come in, like the likes of Suchet, Washi, Marco, how they perform with the bat will be important to see when the time comes, and there will be times when they will be needed.
Yeah. And the thing we've seen from Washington Sundar as well, that he can hit. So when he's there, he gets that. And also, I think Marco Janssen can also hit a few
Yeah, yeah,
with the bat. He's no mug with the bat.
yeah.
Bhuvneshwar can swing it around. So there is batting there. But this is what you want. You want your core batting to perform. And whether it was Abhishek Sharma and Williamson earlier, or now it's Tripathi and Markram, you want your core 4 or 5 batsmen to perform. Yes, it won't happen every single game. You will lose games. But with this kind of team, if these guys can look at the strike rate, 191 for Tripathi and 188 for Markram, you can strike like that
Yeah.
consistently and scoring a 50 with that kind of strike rate, you're going to take games from many teams, not just one. So I think that's something that Sunrise will be very proud of. And
That
also,
that 6 over cover of a Varun, man. Oof. Two in a row he did that. It was
And he was
just
posing for the
beautiful.
camera.
Picture
Posing.
perfect. Picture perfect.
That was one for the magazines, for the posters, for everything. That was a beautiful shot. One thing that I would just like the opening pair of Abhishek, Kenny Williamson. I don't know because Tripathi and Markham are both openers. Maybe try one. Like you don't want to tinker with the winning thing. They've won 3 matches in a row, but maybe Williamson. I just feel he looks a tad uncomfortable in the power play. If he comes one down or two down, he can rotate the strike. He won't play as many dot balls because he's trying to nerdle the ball. In the power play, you need somebody like maybe a Tripathi or Markram who can get the boundaries as well. I don't know how you think about that.
I think Markram at number 4 is a very good. It gives you that stability in the middle order that we've missed in the past. But maybe give it maybe just give Tripathi the license to swing from ball 1, and maybe put Kane at 3. That's not a bad shout.
Yeah, I mean it's not a big deal from there. Let's just rewind a bit more and look at the bowling. The bowling, it just looked like amazing power play, bowled really well. We're going to talk about a specific spell that we planned yesterday, and we spoke to. It seemed that we spoke to Moody, and he listened to us. But if you just look at that innings again, Sunrisers did leak runs, but against KKR, Russell hitting only 2 sixes in that last over to spinner, you'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. My problem I had with the fact was that he shouldn't have been left till that last over. I think Kane lost his math a little bit over there. I know he was trying for like wickets and stuff like that. He wanted Russell to go. But when you come into that kind of a situation and then you're in that last over when Russell's all guns blazing, that is not something you really want. I think he has to just, I think he maybe just lost his math a little bit over there. But whatever it was, I think that this situation shouldn't happen again. But probably won't. Also, I think Kane learned from this very quickly. But I think I'll take it 100%. I think Suchit first game into it, I think he bowled relatively well in the 3 overs. He had a few bad balls, and you can't really blame him for like getting whacked by Russell for a couple of sixes. It's not his fault. So in the last over, Russell is going hammer and tongs. Can't do much, but I think relatively decent performance coming in and filling a role for a more experienced in Washi. I think he's proven and a decently able replacement.
Yeah, and that's what you got that right, that they do have backups. Of course, Washington Sundar will be missed and they'll want to get him back into the team as soon as possible, but they have options, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm really glad that you didn't mention his name and you're letting me do the honors, but Umran Malik, man, finally showing why he was retained. Unbelievable. First of all, we'll talk about the Shreyas Iyer setup, then we'll talk about the Andre Russell. I think that was the
more important. For me, that was the better over.
Yeah,
that was
the
better
two
over.
runs. But Shreyas Iyer, what did we say? We said that give Umran Malik the ball along with Jansen and just pepper him with short balls. He peppered him. Did you see the field? Square leg was taken, fine leg was taken. They had a third man. It was a full short ball field. Bang, 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 and then boom, Yorker. You saw Dale Stein's reaction. Tell me about that, man.
I mean, I was just, I was over the moon. Like I was literally like Dale Stein. I just jumped out of my seat. I was like so excited. I was finishing up some work on the side, and I didn't see the ball being bowled in live. I saw it right after replay because I was just looking at something else, and I was like, shit, I missed a very, very important ball over there. But it is what it is. I was so excited when I just heard the wicket fall. I just turned my head and I was like, the wicket had fallen. I was so excited, and then I saw eventually they showed Dale Stein, and I just my smile was so wide. I was just so happy to see that, and he's just repaying the faith. Today was the time. This is what I'm talking about, Umran Malik. 4 overs, 27 runs, 2 wickets. I take this over anything else. He's an Indian player. Rashid Khan gives you these kind of magical figures. This is what Rashid Khan has been providing day in, day out. But if unfortunately, you don't have him now. So we need another replacement. And if Umran Malik can become that with support from Nattu, Bhuvi, Jansen, this is a solid bowling attack. Washi comes in, he is that fifth bowling option. You're in the game. You have the likes of Markram, Abhishek, Shashank Singh. We saw he can bowl a couple of overs if needed. We are looking a pretty solid side bowling batting wise. This is what I'm is very heartwarming to see. A team. It's been a team that's been made batting till 9, 7 bowling options. You're doing well, and you have the personnel in Umran. You have the personnel in Nattu, who's been bowling fantastic. Second time first ball wicket. He got Rituraj in the first ball in the against CSK. Again this time he got Venkatesh Iyer in the first ball. So these are proper Indian players. These are team cricketers are playing for Indian cricket right now. So these are proper players, and to be able to get that wickets, I'm just you can see I'm just blabbering right now. I'm so excited to see this bowling come through.
Yeah, and like you said, the opposition, right? And then you have Andre Russell, who would have changed this game. I think he was the difference between 170 and a 200, and that over just giving 2 runs that completely swung momentum. Very good captaincy from Kane, because I am of the school of thought that you shouldn't give a spinner the last over,
Yeah,
but Kane did that, and actually it worked in his favor because it stopped the momentum.
yeah.
If Suchit bowled that same over in the 17th and got hit for 2 sixes, then that momentum would still be there. Maybe what's his name, Umran Malik, Natarajan, these guys would have probably got hit as well,
Yeah,
Bhuvi.
yeah.
But here they bowled superbly, and then you had that one over, couple sixes, one boundary. It didn't really hurt you as much.
Yeah, because in the end, I mean, in the end, 170 was a easily defendable target for us. Like I said, with 2 overs left to
Yeah.
spare, so we are capable of scoring those 200 runs. That's the confidence that team will get. But though that over from Umran Malik, there was short balls. He made Andre Russell sit down and take notice, and that's when you say that a person has arrived. When you can make a swashbuckling batsman like Andre Russell really sit down and be beaten for pace, and he's falling on the ground because he's not able to manage it, and he swing on a miss, couple of swing and miss. It's a couple short balls, well directed short balls. Even the 2 runs that he hit was not like a very convincing shot, so to say. So in the 17th over to do that, I mean, hats off to a young lad. Hopefully, he can take a lot of confidence from this. He has to manage his body, very important, because he puts in a lot of effort. Injuries will be a problem, but if he can continue doing this kind of performance, I think he's only going to get better, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and from KKR's point of view, we'll just quickly talk about
Yeah,
the bowling
what
gap.
we've been talking about, rambling
But
about SRH.
yeah, KKR, Rana and Russell providing the fireworks. We were expecting Rana to perform, and he batted well. But it was in the bowling where Varun Chakravarti just had the worst day, like for him, like a day
Yeah,
to get 15 runs economy, 3 overs, 45 runs. It was just tough going. Tripathi and even Markram smashed him in the second and third over as well. So it was just a day to forget, and that's where the match slipped. Even I think Aman Hakim Khan, he was also targeted by Tripathi, so it did cause some issues. Pat Cummins also leaking some runs at the end. He tends to be expensive. So apart from Narayan and Umesh Yadav, it wasn't the best bowling performance, and you could tell there's a bit of dew there. But the way Narayan bowled, it looked like he was bowling with a dry ball.
I mean, Narayan always bowls on a different pitch, man. That guy is so economical. I think that KKR will want a wicket or two from him every now and again. I think he's become more this economical bowler, and the wickets come from the other sides. But when the wickets are not coming from the likes of Umesh and Varun, that's when the problems happens. Like today, for example, the 3 wickets and the game was done and dusted quite easily. I think Varun, unfortunate, every bowler will go through 1 or 2 days like this when they just have to forget it, get back to your process, and get back to the next game. It was just a one-off game where his lines and lengths were completely haphazard, and when someone like Rahul Tripathi hits and shows off his style like that, it's always playing in your mind. So like he just has to tip his head off to a good innings by Tripathi and just move on from there. But yeah, I think KKR will be disappointed. I don't think they should be too disappointed. They have to work out their fifth bowling option. They've tried Rasik Salam. I think they've tried him, and then they've tried Aman Khan. I don't see Shreyas Iyer has the confidence. You bring in these bowlers and you're not playing them to their quota or giving them maybe one max 2 overs. That's not right. You stick with one person and just go all. You just try it out with him. I think Shivam Mavi is your player. He might go for a few runs, but I think he's
I
your
think so too. Yeah.
yeah. I think he's your amongst the lot that you have. You should give him a shot, give him an extended run of games, and see how that goes out. The problem has been up top for them. The Rahane experiment has not worked. Finch is not your answer, unfortunately. You might give him a couple more games, but I think you bring in a Sam Billings. You open with Rana. You open with Rana Venkatesh Iyer. Play Shreyas at 3. You play Billings at 4, and then you have the likes of. You can play what's his name? Sheldon Jackson at 5. You can finish it off with Russell at 6, Cummins at 7, and Narayan at 8. It's a pretty solid batting lineup. You still have decent batting. You have 8 overs from the top 7, and then you have enough. Enough from your remaining 4 bowlers to finish the quota off. I think they have to work a little bit on that balance. The problem has been that opening pair. They have to go a little bit harder in that opening. If you think about Brendan McCullum's sides, these are going extremely hard up top, and that's been a problem. They haven't gone that hard up top in the past couple of games, and that's why they've ended up losing.
Yeah.
I think today they had a little bit of assistance. I think the bowlers were getting assistance, so it was a little bit harder. But overall, just going hard up top is their style, and they should stick to that.
Yeah, and I think someone like a Shreyas Iyer, if he can play like a Tripathi kind of innings, that will really boost their kind of confidence. They need somebody there in the top order, like you mentioned. And
Yeah.
Shreyas Iyer, I mean, more than captaincy batting, you're a bit worried. Like,
Yeah, I
especially
think
when
we've been starting to
the World
talk
Cup
about
was in
that.
Australia.
Yeah,
Then
we've already started talking about it. If you can set him up like that, then you have a problem.
he got set up big time today, man. That's exactly what we wanted to happen. Like, I was 100% confident that
But
it'll
that,
work.
to be able to execute that after three short balls, to be able to bowl the perfect Yorker to finish it off, hats off to Imran
And
Malik.
the worry is, I read a very good tweet. The worry is for Shay Sayed, I think he can still perform in the T20 one day level, but if you have a weakness like that, Test cricket becomes very
Very
difficult.
difficult. Absolutely, I
You
agree.
get set up like this every session. Every 2-3 overs you're gonna have a setup, and there's no field restrictions, nothing. It's completely different. So
Yeah.
you can have all the fielders on the leg side boundary, and it can be different. So that's something. But yeah, your player of the match. This is gonna be interesting.
I mean, I have to give it to Rahul Tripathi. I think it's the most common choice, and I usually at down the track, we want to give the kind of the impact. I think, but he had an amazing impact on the game. When coming in at the time that he did, especially with Kane going out, him and Markram, I think you'll be able to stabilize that innings and go out and make that victory their own. I think has been fantastic. Shout out to Umar Malik. I think he deserves the accolades, but I just feel like everyone bowled well. I think Nattu bowled well, Bhuvi bowled well. So it's
Yeah.
just they were a little bit more expensive than Umran, but I think it was a team bowling effort. But it was Tripachi's really that power packed impact or power impact of Tripathi that was important. So that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, the thing is, I want to give it to Umran Malik just because of that spell to Russell and that ball to Shreyas Iyer. But like, I have to completely agree with you because even if you look at the batting order, Suchit to come and Shashank was it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
Next, yep.
we didn't know how much they're going to contribute. I still felt that they could take it close, but he made sure that they 1 or 2 overs to spare. It helped the run rate. It like in the long run, this kind of win will help Sunrisers, and I think the way that they won, Tripathi was the reason for that. Like they could have still won, taken it to the last over. It could have been tricky, but Tripathi ensured with that innings, 40 or 15 he was, right? Or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
he ensured with that innings that Sunriser will cruise to victory, and you have to give him that, sealing the deal. But yeah, Umran Malik, when you have opposition like that, and they're nicely set up, 120 in 15 overs, you can go to 200 easily. But to bowl like that, unbelievable, man.
Absolutely fantastic. You also have to just a quick note about Ian Bishop talked about it in the commentary about how Punjab were with Aiden Markram and Nicholas Puran in the last season, and they had 4 runs to win or something, and they ended up losing that game.
Yeah,
So for them to be able to come out of that, be able to finish these games second time in a row that they finished the game off for
yeah,
Sunrisers. It gives them the confidence. These are also young players. You can't forget that Markram
exactly.
and Puran are only 26, 27. They haven't reached the peak of their careers.
Yeah.
So to be able to do that, I think it'll just help their confidence a lot.
That's a very good point, Ash. And particularly Markram, I felt that Sunrise should have gone for Vander Dusen, but I was completely wrong. I'll put my hand up, Markram, just because he provides with the ball as well, and also he's been in good T20 form in the last few years, and he's
Yeah.
slowly he's learning. Right, he's still young, like you said. He will make mistakes, but the talent is there, and today that innings will do a world of good, and that's why I think Markram's innings was equally good, just because he provided that support, and it ensured that Tripathi wasn't at it alone, and even when he got out, Markram was there. So you're not depending on one player. That's very important.
Yeah, and we have a couple of South Africans, a West Indian, and a Kiwi doing the job for us also in the side. So along with the
Yeah,
Indians stepping up, so it's beautiful to see that.
yeah, it's excellent to
We don't
see
have
that.
any. We don't have any Aussies. We don't have any Englishmen, which are the
Which is
high
rare.
priority.
Sometimes you
Yeah,
always have Aussies in English.
yeah. So that's the high priority people. So we don't have those, but we have like these other nations that are stepping up to the
Yeah,
plate for us.
and they're gelling well. Like you mentioned, the age and everything. It's also like none of them are like crazy stars. Williamson is one, but he doesn't act like that. Like I
Yeah,
mean, he doesn't get that. Not act. He doesn't get that attention as like a star kind of thing. So if you look at it, it's a low key team, and they really enjoy each other's company. You see the social media as well. Like they're playing table tennis, they're
yeah,
swimming pool,
yeah.
they're playing FIFA. Like you can tell that they're enjoying each other's company off the field. And I think Puran is that guy who's cracking the jokes and everything. And it's good to have that
Yeah,
people.
and one other thing, I think a low key team. We talk about a low key team. Kane Williamson is no mug with that low key team. We
Yeah,
always
and this was a point
always
made.
underestimate New Zealand. It's a
Yeah.
perfect tailor made for him to come out and punch above their weight and continue to do as well as they're doing right
Yeah.
now.
One of the commentators said it in the last game that this is the ideal team for Williamson.
Yeah,
he knows how to take teams like this, and yeah, you might not win every game, but he knows how to get the best out of them, and that's what they did in the last three games.
Absolutely.
But yeah, done very quickly. Tomorrow's games. The first one is Mumbai Indians versus Lucknow Super Giants, and then Delhi versus Bangalore. How are you looking at the Mumbai Lucknow game? Will Mumbai get off the mark?
Oh man, I think at this point in time, I think they really need to. I think they're pretty much out the tournament even now. I think that they will not be able to. I still feel like you need about 7, 8 wins out of 14 to be able to make that top four. I think eight because of the extra teams at this
Extra
point in
teams,
time.
yes.
Yeah. So eight is your probably your number. So you have 5 losses. You have 9 more games to go, and you have to win eight. I don't think that's going to happen from Mumbai's perspective. So that's going to be tricky. But that being said, I think that they will not be a pushover side of by any stretch of the imagination. I think Rohit Sharma will be very very upset. The think tank, everyone will be upset. The owners, they come with very high standards. The owners will not be happy. So I think that tomorrow will be the game when they'll turn it around. They'll get their first win. They'll get off the mark tomorrow. But I just feel like there's just too many problems. Like we keep talking about every team having an issue, but I think the Mumbai issue is just too large, and they went for a Jofra Archer when they didn't have their main bases covered, which is a questionable situation now. Next season they might end up winning. That is probably the Mumbai style. They'll play extremely well one season. When Jofra comes back, they'll probably end up winning because that's the one bowler that they are missing, and they'll probably in the auction buy a couple other good players and they'll end up winning. But you have to question their auction policy, their auction ideas behind the auction.
Historically, this has been
This,
an issue for them.
yeah, exactly. Whenever they have big auctions, they tend to struggle.
Yeah, always.
So
And they, like, you talk about the scouting network and everything, but I feel that for them it takes time, like in the actual auction, because everybody's trying to get the players that they want and everything, it becomes a bit tricky for them. But then when it's the second, third, the mini auctions, they get the players readily who are available, they get the best of those, and they already have some class players, and then that combination kind of works.
yeah, I still think that they do well in terms of their scouting because they found Tilak Verma. They went hard for Deval Brevis. When Mumbai
They
wants a
do
player,
keep
you
it,
can tell that they want it and they will get it.
yeah.
That is sometimes we always talk about Mumbai being the bullies in the auction, but the fact that they had to spend overpay 15 plus CR for Nishan Kishan, I think he's still worth it. But maybe in another situation he could probably come for 12, 13, and that would give them a 2, 3 CR extra to play around with a couple other options. But because they have that paddle up at all times, they
Yeah.
know that they want it. It makes it a little bit easier to push that price up for some of it. They are
But
still
there
the
you go,
bullies. They
right?
are the big dogs.
Like there you go. In that kind of situation, maybe you should have gone a bit easier and then get two, three players of that price and
Exactly.
make it.
And
You
that's
won't have
what
an issue with your spin bowling and your other like backup for Bumrah and Archer.
that's what they'll have to learn to do a little bit more. But I think that'll come. I think it's just yeah.
So how are you looking at this game against Lucknow? Lucknow
I
have
think I think I think Mumbai to win it.
Mumbai to win it. Lucknow have been pretty decent. Even the game they lost, Toynes almost won it for them in the last game. They've caused some problems for the opposition. They're a good team, but they do lose games as well.
Yeah, no, I think this is a very good side because now they are also full strength. They'll only keep getting better. I think this is a very good side. They've been what is it called? I think their plans and the execution of their plans has been fantastic. So they will continue to be a good threat for any team they play against.
Yeah,
But I
100.
think tomorrow, just because Mumbai will probably want it a little bit more, that's why they'll end up winning.
Mumbai Indians. Yeah, and just watch out for Deval Brevis. That's all I'll say. Like I think he's a very exciting talent. The next game is Delhi versus RCB. RCB lost their last game, but they've had a decent season. Delhi also, they had hiccups, but then they won their last game. Kuldeep Yadav has been in very good form. Even Warner and Prithvi Shaw has been outstanding as well. He's been really good. So how are you looking at this game? It's going to be a good game, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it's a very even match for both these sides. I think both the sides are starting to get their best 11 together. Everything is starting to kind of fall in place for both these teams. They'll be happy, and I think RCB will want this loss against Mumbai against CSK kind of behind them as quickly as possible and move on from there. Delhi, I think is starting to get the combination right. I think Kuldeep Yadav bowling well. Shardul Thakur slowly coming into his own. Akshar Patel, these guys kind of coming into their own. Will be an important key, but I think their batting is starting to set up. I think up top, like we spoke, and with Rishabh Pant, Lalit Yadav, these guys are starting to get the games going. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be a hard to choose which team gets the better. I guess. Uh, gets the better of each other in tomorrow's game, but it's going to be a tricky one. I'm going to tip Bangalore to win tomorrow.
I think Delhi, if you look at it, they thrive on the top order. Warner, Shaw, giving them the start. Then Pant, coming in as well. They do have a good middle order, but for RCB, I think it's a bit opposite. They have an amazing top order, but they're not firing right now. It's the middle lower order which is firing, which is we saw in the last game. Was it Prabhu? I forgot his name. Prabhu something. He came and smashed it for Bangalore. 30 of 8.
Oh yeah. Oh my
I,
god, I forgot his name.
Suyash Prabhu something, but yeah, he was brilliant, man. And with him, there's Dinesh Karthik as well. He provides that fire in that middle order, lower middle order to finish off games. So I think RCB do have a strong lower middle order as well, but they'll need Faf and Virat Kohli to set that platform. Similarly to how Pratyusha and Warner have been doing it for Delhi.
Yeah, I think so. I think Faf, he's been good. I think I think the 200 targets has got to them. I think they're a better side than they showed. I think they consistently kept losing wickets, so it just didn't work out very well for them. But I think there's one of those games for them. I think that like I said, I think it's gonna be a fun encounter for
And
sure.
for RCB, plugging the Harshal Patel gap will be a bit of an issue because he's been outstanding for them. He's been brilliant, and hope he's doing well and everything. Family is much more important.
Suyash Prabhu Desai.
Suresh Prabhu Desai. Man, the confidence that he showed in that last game, he played every single shot, reverse sweep, the long hike over extra cover, over cow corner, the extra cover shot, everything. He had all the shots. He was brilliant. But yeah, I think that Harshal Patel gap is something that RCB might struggle with because he was completely.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can plug that gap. I think you just have to make the most of the resources that you have available.
Yeah, you have Hazelwood there, if he can give them that start with the new ball and everything, that can really help them.
But the problem is the death overs.
Yeah.
That's what happened to them. They got spanked for about 160 in the last 12 or something like that.
Yeah,
so
that was insane.
That's like an insane amount of runs.
That was insane. Your players to watch out for?
I want to see how Shivam Dubey is in fantastic form. I want to see if he can continue doing that for CSK moving forward. Sorry.
I knew you were going to talk about CSK.
How can you
not mention CSK? I knew.
I was looking at the CSK RCB because I wanted to find Suresh Prabhu. I had that.
Chennai is in your heart. But, Chennai is where the heart is.
I don't have to prove myself anymore, bro. I
don't have to. You don't have to.
But what is this? I was talking about DK. I think I want to see if he can continue to finish off games for them, and also Maxwell a little bit. I think Maxwell has been.
You look really good for those 11 deliveries when he was there.
Yeah, when he was there exactly, and I want to see if Dave Warner can continue that good form. He had a good 50. I want to see Dave Warner. I have a soft corner for Dave Warner as much as the things became really sour between SRH and him. I still have a soft corner for him. He's given me very good moments in the Orange Army. So I think I still love him for that. So I think I want to see if he can perform well. In the Mumbai LSG game, I want to see the captains Rohit and KL.
Rohit and KL to perform, yeah. I think Rohit is getting the starts. It's now about converting those starts into big scores, and because if he can hit that 80 or 40, then it really sets the platform for somebody like a Tilak Verma, Brevis, these guys to come in. And
bowling is the problem.
But I felt that even the last couple of games, batting has been an issue. They don't have a proper finisher. Pollard's not been informed. Tim David needs to play, I feel. I think he's the finisher who can provide that finish. Because you saw in that last game, what were they chasing? 180, 190? They were on track after that Brevis knock. They were on track to win the game. It wasn't like
those runouts didn't help.
Huh?
Those runouts didn't help.
Yeah, they made mistakes and they just didn't have a proper finisher. Like you saw today, after Tripathi got out, they didn't collapse. The Markram continued. So that's something that Mumbai need to do. And they have that in Tim David. I think he should get a shout as well.
I think Tim David automatically gets himself in and, just give Tamam Mills a break for a couple of games. Try Riley Meredith. How much worse can he probably be?
Yeah, Riley Meredith. He was given a lot of money in that by Punjab in the last auction before. So why not?
This time they got him for a pretty fair price, I think.
Yeah.
But just give him a chance, it might just work out.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to add or ask me or anything you want to talk about?
No, your prediction for tomorrow.
Tomorrow I'm going to go Lucknow and I'm going to go Delhi.
Ooh, I went exact opposite. We always do exact
That's
opposite,
the reason.
except
No,
for when it's
no,
sunrises.
the thought process behind the Lucknow is just that I feel that their team is amazing. But again, it's T20 cricket. Mumbai, one guy performs, they can lose the game. But if I just look at the overall matchups, I prefer this Lucknow team. They provide, like, bowlers who can bat, batters who can bowl. They bat deep with the ball. You can have some guy chip in for the sixth, seventh bowler as well. So you have a lot of options. And then Delhi versus Bangalore, I just feel that Delhi have been picking up a bit of momentum. There is some confidence there, and the top order is fighting. When you have a start like that, top order, it becomes easier to win games, especially in the IPL.
Right.
You get like a partnership of 100, like that, or even 80, 90, a quick fire one. It can really hurt the opposition. And I think this Prithvi Warner kind of combination is really good for Delhi. And Kuldeep Yadav has been really good form, and he's picking up wickets as well. And I have to support him as well. So.
You have hidden agendas, but
No,
but
but
six
in
teams
general,
are
I think also the Harshal Patel miss is also a thing. If he was playing,
big
I would
factor.
call this like 50-50. I wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. So it's actually six teams are at 6 points. Gujarat is up with eight, and then DC is at four, and CSK is at two, and MI is at zero. So for me, in terms of SRH thinking, I want DC and MI to win. But if I'm thinking about realistically, I think MI and RCB to probably make the second team to make that 8 points.
Yeah, it could go. I mean, it could go either way. Hopefully, let's see what happens. Mumbai have been playing a lot of day games. Maybe that's also impacting their performances. This is the third day game,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
they have a big break, I think, after this for a few
Yeah,
days.
yeah, and the games are coming quickly. Sunrisers have played quite a few games in the last week because they had a huge break the week before.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, they will play again on Sunday, and then we'll see what happens next week. But Don, I will catch you hopefully tomorrow after the games, and we can discuss it. And yeah, anything else you want to add? Anything? You good?
No, that's about it, I think.
Yeah, thanks for telling us about the table as well. That means it's going to be very close, and that's where net run rate will be also coming into play. And that way, it was good that Markram could finish it with 2 overs to spare today.
Yep, looking forward to the
All
rest of the
right, man.
games.
Thank you so much. I will catch you then. Take care.